Hi, my name is Erin, and this video is about my recent trip to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico in August 2024. I hope that it can help even one person have a travel experience that's just a little bit better. This is a beachfront city located on the Bay of Banderas. June to October is rainy season here, so expect afternoon and evening showers with high heat and high humidity all of the time. Don't forget to bring loads of sunscreen, or you can buy some at one of the many pharmacies in town. This is also the off-season for tourism here, so it should be a little less crowded if you choose to come in the summer. We booked a condo in the romantic zone called SoHo by Maxwell collection, which was very centrally located, and it had an amazing infinity pool. I would highly recommend, and I can leave that link below. We really enjoyed the slushies at Blondie's when things got just a little too hot. The big teas taste a lot like a bushwhacker, so that was my favorite. Also, Margarita Bar had the best margaritas that I tried on our trip, and the salsa was great too. This area feels very safe, even at night, and I would recommend it for solo travelers. But always keep your wits about you, watch where you step, always look for loose cobblestones, and beware of the crocodiles. The Malecon is a pier and boardwalk area that runs along the beach where you can walk, enjoy the sunset, enjoy the fireworks from the pirate ship that floats around in the bay, or just stop and relax and get a drink. Street vendors will approach you endlessly, especially around the beach area, but don't let that bother you. Just say no gracias and keep on moving. There are lots of tourists here, both from Mexico and from the US, and most people here will address you in English if they believe you're a visitor. That being said, it's still a great time to brush up on some Spanish before your trip, especially if you want to visit some restaurants that are maybe off the beaten path a little bit. Most places do accept credit cards, but if you would like to withdraw some pesos when you arrive, just make sure to use an official bank ATM. Also remember, at the very end, there will be a question on your screen which will ask you if you want to accept or decline the currency conversion fee right before your cash is dispensed. Always select decline on the left side. This is an optional fee and you do not want to pay it. The beach area in the romantic zone is Playa Los Muertos, and you can swim there. But if you would rather, when you reach Playa Los Muertos, you can take a left and just keep walking south. There are several more beach areas that you can get to where the water will be a little bit cleaner, there will be fewer tourists, and fewer vendors. We stopped at Playa Amapas. It was still rocky and there was a lot of undertow, but we found a good little spot to swim and the beach was beautiful. If you have a favorite beach in this area, please let us know in the comments for next time. Next, we took an ATV tour into the jungle with a company called Wild Trips. This was approximately $250. We rented a Razor for 2 people, and this included a delicious tequila tasting and also lunch at a fantastic restaurant called Rancho Mi Abuelo. And they have a river in the back of their property where you can swim while you wait for your food, which is really cool. I think this was the best place we ate on our whole trip. Be aware that the lunch for 2 can probably feed 4 or 5 people. The Puerto Vallarta Botanical Gardens are another popular tourist destination, and they are amazing. General entry is about $16 US per person. You can take a taxi or an Uber here. It's about 10 miles away from the romantic zone, but the roads are very windy, and if you're anything like me, you might get a little bit of motion sickness. It'll take about 35 to 40 minutes to actually arrive. Just be aware that when you arrive, you may no longer have cell phone service. There is a taxi service that's available that will take you back into town, and the cost to get back to the romantic zone is about $32 US. Even though these are botanical gardens, there are some more rugged trails that you can hike on, so I would come wearing tennis shoes. I personally did not come dressed appropriately. I just wore a bathing suit with a cover up over it and completely wrong shoes, so don't be like me. There's even a trail that you can hike that takes you through the garden's vanilla plantation, so you can see where all the vanilla beans get harvested. You'll see various animal species along with the plants here. We saw a tortoise, lots of peacocks, some fish, the biggest snail I've ever seen, lizards, birds, and butterflies. The chapel is really beautiful and colorful, just like the rest of the gardens. To the right, you'll see memorials for pets, and to the left, you'll see memorials for humans who have been associated with the garden over the years. And just a quick tip that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. When you arrive at the airport in Puerto Vallarta, you will walk through some glass doors and you will enter what they call the Shark Tank. This is full of people who are trying to sell you timeshares or taxis that are far too expensive. The best thing you can do is avoid eye contact. I had to drag Daniel away from someone who was trying to tell us that Uber did not exist there. So definitely don't make eye contact with that guy. Just walk straight through the Shark Tank, exit the airport, and on the left side of the airport you'll find a pedestrian bridge which you can cross over onto the other side of the street, and there you can find some cheaper taxis or wait for an Uber, which does in fact exist. Someone in the Shark Tank may also try to stop you and tell you that they work for the airport. But this is untrue, so really just keep walking. We really enjoyed the restaurant and the gift shop. You get a beautiful view of the forest and great food. I had hibiscus tea and shrimp stuffed avocados, and Daniel had shrimp tacos, and both were really good. Yep. There are lots of beautiful orchids here, as you can see from all of the tiles that have been donated from orchid societies all around the world. You are welcome to swim in the river, so if you'd like to do that, don't forget to wear your swimsuit. We decided not to this day because it was a little bit muddy, but I'm sure it would have been very refreshing. To close out our trip, we decided to go to Rhythms of the Night. I think this is kind of the thing to do in Puerto Vallarta, and I could see why. It was a lot of fun. We booked through Vallarta Adventures, and I can leave their website in the description below. I think if you book 3 days in advance, you can receive a discount. We paid $125 US per person, and this includes a Cirque du Soleil style show, a buffet style dinner, and drinks to and from the island where the show is performed. When we arrived at the island, it was raining really hard, and it took away from the experience a little bit because we couldn't wander around the island and check things out like you normally would have been able to. So just don't be like us and make sure that you check the weather the week that you're going to book this show. We still had a really romantic candlelit dinner anyway, and we just had to wait out the rain so that they could start the show in the uncovered amphitheater. Never fear, the party will still continue on your way back to the port. There will be a show, and of course, the drinks will keep flowing. Overall, we had a really fun trip, and we would definitely go back again, but maybe next time during a cooler time of year. So, if you decide to visit, safe travels, and we'll see you on the next adventure.